Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Master Duel Speedroid Windwitch deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Meli. And this deck is an extremely powerful deck with just how well Speedroid and Windwitch work together. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. And definitely give Meli some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Speedroid Terrortop. Terrortop is definitely a 3-of in the build, because if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand. And when this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly get to our copies of Tekka or any other Speedroid that we need. We then play 3 copies of Tekka. Tekka is amazing as a 3-of in the build as an extender, because if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. You can also tribute this card to special summon a Speedroid tuner monster from your deck, which is a great effect to instantly get the exact tuner you want on your side of the field, so you can go in for a synchro play. We then play 2 copies of Car Turbo. Car Turbo is an awesome extender that's actually a tuner for the deck, and if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can also banish this card and another Speedroid monster from the grave, and all wind monsters that you currently control gain 800 attack points so that we can swing in for game and make our synchro monsters absolutely massive. We then played 2 copies of Marble Machine. Marble Machine is really good in the deck, but I feel like 2 copies is really all you need because your copy of Terrortop already searches out your Speedroid monsters, and this card kind of does the same thing. That when this card is normal summon, you can activate this effect to add a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to instantly get the exact card that you need. But the reason I'm only playing 2 copies in this build is because this card is a pendulum monster, so it won't go to the graveyard, it'll actually go to the X deck, which is a little bit of a downside. We then play a single copy of Red-Eyed Dice. Red-Eyed Dice is amazing to help you level manipulate your card to be the exact level that you need, because when this card is normal or special summon, you can actually target a Speedroid monster you control, except another copy of this card, and declare a level from 1 to 6, and it becomes that level until the end of the turn, which is a great effect to instantly get the exact level you need on your side of the field, so you can go in for a synchro play. We then play a single copy of Din Din Dakaduke. Din Din Dakaduke is amazing as a 1-of in the build, but you only need a single copy in this build since we are playing Windwitches as well, as you can manage this card from the grave to special summon a Speedroid tuner monster from your hand or your graveyard, except another copy of this card, which is an awesome effect to be able to use, but I feel like 1 is all you need. We then play a single copy of Ultra Hound. Ultra Hound is great to help us get our copy of Din Din Dakaduke in the graveyard, as this card has the ability, when this card is normal summon, you can send a Speedroid card from your deck to the grave, which is an awesome effect to send your copy of Din Din Dakaduke to the grave to be able to banish it and then bring back a tuner. We then play a single copy of Piper. Piper's like an in-archetype Pot of Prosperity, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the build. This card has the effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you can activate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of your other wind monsters you control, add one of those cards to your hand, and place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. And it doesn't even have to be a Speedroid that you excavate. It can be literally any card, which is absolutely broken on this card. I love that about this card's effect, and it's such a powerful card to be able to summon out to your side of the field and grab a card off the top. You can also banish a card from the graveyard and then target a level 3 or higher wind monster you control and reduce this level by 2, which is a really cool effect to be able to reduce a monster's level so you can go for the exact synchro play that you need to. We play a single copy of Double Yo-Yo. Double Yo-Yo is really good as a 1-of to round out the Speedroid monsters. This card has the effect that when it's normal summon, you can actually target a level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is an awesome effect to get the exact monster you need on your side of the field so you can go in for your synchro plays, like bringing back a copy of Car Turbo back to your side of the field and going in for a level 7 synchro play. For the Windwitch cards, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Ice Bell. Ice Bell is definitely a 3-of in the build. This card is absolutely amazing, as if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand, then you can special summon a Windwitch monster from the deck, which is a great ability, but something to note about this card is that this card's effect does not go off when it is normal summon. It has to be special summoned by its effect to be able to get that copy of the other Windwitch to your side of the field, whereas your copy of Terror Top can actually be normal summoned for its effect, because both of these cards have the ability to, if you don't control a monster, then you can special summon them to your side of the field. So keep that in mind when you're playing this deck, that you always summon your copy of your Ice Spell first to be able to get your copy of your Glass Spell to your side of the field, and then just normal summon Terror Top to your side of the field and search out Tekatombor, because Tekatombor can also special summon itself out to your side of the field, giving you more synchro plays as you're playing this deck. This card also can do 500 points of burn damage to your opponent, which is a pretty cool effect, but again, make sure that you're special summoning Ice Spell and normal summoning Terror Top if you have them both in your hand at the same time. We then play 2 copies of Glass Spell. Glass Spell is amazing in the deck as a 2-0, because if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Windwitch monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect, especially on this level 4 tuner. We then play a single copy of Snowbell. Snowbell is really cool as a 1-of, because if you control 2 or more wind monsters and no non-wind monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and also a wind synchro monster that was summoned using this card as a synchro material cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, giving you a little bit of protection, which is really nice. We then play a single copy of Freezebell. Freezebell is amazing in the deck just as a 1-of, and I really like this card in the deck to be able to work with the Windwitches, is if all monsters you control are Windwitch monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand, which is a great effect. Also, once per turn, during your main phase, you can actually increase this card's level by 1, and a Wind Synchro monster was summoned using this card as a synchro material cannot be destroyed by battle, giving us another layer of protection for our synchro monsters. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just to stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Max C. Since it is a Master Duel deck profile, we gotta play Max C at 3 in the build, because this card just draws too many cards, and it's such a broken card. Probably one of the most broken cards in Master Duel, which is why we play this card as a 3-of in the build. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is definitely a 1-of in the deck to basically just stop cards like Max C, Ash Blossom, and Infinite Impermanence from being used against us while we're going into our combos. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is basically the same thing as Crossout Designator, basically just to stop hand traps. We then play 2 copies of Speed Recovery. Speed Recovery is a monster reborn for Speedroids, which is why we play this card as a 2-of in the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Speedroid Wheel. Speedroid Wheel is definitely a 3-of in the build, because you can discard a card, roll a 6-sided die, and then special summon from your hand and or deck 1 or 2 Speedroid monsters whose total level equal the result, but negate their effects. And if you do not special summon, you lose life points equal to the result of the die roll times 500, which is a little bit of a downside, but usually we're always going to have something to special summon. So this card is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically be like an E-telly for the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Duplicate. Duplicate is really cool as a 1-of in the build, because you actually banish a wind monster from the grave to target 1 card your opponent controls and return it back to the hand, but also this card generates itself as a trap monster, because during your main phase, if this card's in the graveyard, you can actually target a level 2 or higher Speedroid monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do special summon this card as a normal monster that's a machine tuner, wind, level 1, 0 attack and 0 defense, and it's not treated as a trap card, but that's a once per duel effect, which is why we just play this card as a 1-of in the build. But I really like this card as a 1-of in the deck, because it does generate itself as a tuner on your side of the field to be able to go in for your synchro plays. We then also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to round out the main deck. This card is just amazing to be able to basically lock down entire columns of spells and traps and negate your opponent's monster effects, which is just absolutely amazing. This card is one of those powerful hand traps in the entire game, as it also doesn't play into triple tactical talents, which is absolutely crazy. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Diamond Bell. Diamond Bell is really good as a boss monster for the Windwitch cards, because if this card is synchro summon, you can target a Windwitch monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack points, which is a really awesome effect to be able to do some burn damage to the opponent. Also, once per turn, if your opponent takes battle or effect damage, you can actually target one card on the field and destroy it, which is an extremely powerful effect. Basically just pop cards on the field. And if this card was synchro summoned using only Windwitch monsters as material, you can use that effect up to twice per turn instead of once per turn, which is a great ability. We then play a single copy of Winterbell. Winterbell is basically a stepping stone for your different synchro plays, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the deck. But this card lets you target a Windwitch monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal at target's level times 200, which is a really cool effect. Basically make this card and step into another synchro play. Then play a single copy of Clearwing Rider. Clearwing Rider is amazing as a 1-of in the build, and I really like this card in the deck as a boss monster. It comes out absolutely massive at 3,500 attack points, and it can also help you summon out other synchro monsters, which is really nice, and why I actually play this card in the build. And then play a single copy of Barrel and Defleur, one of the most broken synchro monsters ever played, and this card is just absolutely amazing to be able to play in the deck because it's still playable in Master Duel. This card is so good because it's a walking negate. It can pop cards on the field, and it's just absolutely necessary for this deck. You can play a single copy of Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Clearwing is amazing to basically just stop your opponent's spells and traps, and it's just really good to be able to play in the deck, because once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can actually quick effect activate this effect, then until the end of this turn, that face of monster is unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters. Also, this card gains attack equal to the opponent's monster's original attack, and once per turn, when a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, quick effect, you can actually negate the activation when you destroy that card. And if this synchro summon card you control is sent to the grave by an opponent's card, add a wind monster from your deck to your hand, which is a crazy powerful effect. We play a single copy of Kite Drake just to be able to board wipe the field. This card is amazing to be able to play in the deck, just to help you board wipe so you can go in for a game. We then play 2 copies of Crystal Wing. Crystal Wing is the main boss monster of this deck, and Crystal Wing is so powerful as a monster negate and just absolutely crazy to be able to make in this build. Then play a single copy of Clearwing. Clearwing is amazing to be able to use to step into a copy of Crystal Wing, or just make this card on your side of the field as a walking negate. And then play a single copy of Clearwing Fast Dragon. Clearwing Fast Dragon is a really good card in the deck, but you only need a single copy. During either player's turn, you can actually target a face-up monster that your opponent controls. That was special summon the X deck until the end of this turn, change its attack to 0 to help you basically swing in for game. And then play a single copy of Chambara. Chambara is really good to help you swing multiple times because this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. And started damage that this card battles gains 200 attack points, which is a really cool effect. You can play a single copy of the other level 5. This card is amazing to be able to play to help you step into other synchro plays. We then play a single copy of Cork. Cork is amazing, but just as a 1-of in the build. I used to play 2 copies of this card, but I feel like 1 is really all you need. As this card is synchro, some of you actually add a Speedroid spell trap from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to grab the exact card you need, which is why you see so many of our spells and traps at 1 or 2 copies, except for a copy of Wheel, which is just too powerful not to play in the deck as a 3-of. Then play a single copy of Metal Marcher. Metal Marcher is really good to help you synchro climb, because if this card is synchro summon, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and special summon in defense position, but negate its effects, which is just going to help you step into another synchro play. And finally play a single copy of Rubber Band, which is the only non-tuner in the entire extract, but this card is just too good not to play. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Speedroid Windwitch deck on Master Duel, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's very interesting to be able to play, and it's absolutely crazy how powerful it is to be able to synchro summon into all sorts of awesome boss monsters. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.